Admittedly, supercars were never intended to be incredibly practical. Performance and aesthetics are always prioritized over cost, comfort, and fuel economy. Some may argue that supercars could become instinctive because of increased concerns about the environment and a potential recession. However, any enthusiast for cars would tell you that there's a place for high-performance vehicles on our roads forever. The internal combustion engine, ICE, is a source of soul. When considering the characteristics of a supercar or the reasons we are so fond of them, a multitude of factors come into play that influence our decisions and inclinations consciously and unconsciously. The weight we all give to those elements varies greatly, but cars' soul is what gives it a lasting and compelling appeal. The extent of this and the sources of it are topics for another day, but one essential component is the power plant or internal combustion engine, ICE, which serves as the vehicle's beating heart. The way a machine breathes, vibrates, sounds, and smells gives it personality, according to enthusiasts. A motor is a stirring thing to start, and even when it is idling, it speaks of things to come. My other interest and day job is aviation, and again, how often do doe-eyed devotees wax poetic about their favorite aircraft? Think Rolls-Royce Merlin, for example. Without mentioning the engines, it is felt and understood by everyone. Environmental new car acts make an appearance. Given the recent announcement by the UK government that the sale of new cars with gasoline and diesel engines will be prohibited starting in 2030, where does this leave us? What does this signify for supercars, their growth, essence, and very existence? For enthusiasts, would-be supercar buyers, and us at Kingsburg, these are crucial questions. By far the fastest of the G7, the UK has established itself as a global leader in the decarbonization effort. It suggests the following 2 steps. Step 1, by 2030, all sales of new gasoline and diesel vehicles will be phased out. Step 2, by 2035, all new cars must have zero emissions at the exhaust. In other words, starting in 2030, cars must be at least partially hybrid, plug-in or hybrid. And starting in 2035, it must be entirely electric or powered by another zero-emission source. From the outside, the government appears dedicated, having spent billions of dollars to help build the necessary infrastructure and generate employment in the electric vehicle sector. In politics, change is undoubtedly in the air, but is it possible, even with sustained enthusiasm? Slush on the stones. Is the internal combustion engine about to die? It was ambitious even before COVID. A full transition might take over 15 years, even if people's ability to pay for the initially more expensive technology isn't taken into account. In the UK, we don't even replace 10% of our cars per year. Step 1 may need to be extended due to post-COVID financial constraints, but the government has further flexibility and potential to prolong during the 5-year second step hybrid buffer. Thus, internal combustion engines will continue to be produced for many more decades, even if they are almost always connected to an electric motor system. In addition to pure ICE cars that predated regulation and were designated as classic, soulful petrol supercars will continue to be produced for a few decades. So is it still a good idea to get an all-ICE supercar at this time? Without a doubt, sure. The 2030 phase-out plan, of course, partly depends on manufacturers' ability or desire to deliver a fully hybrid/electric product range. Bentley has declared emphatically that it would stop producing internal combustion engines by 2030, but many automakers are still not persuaded that all-electric cars are the way of the future. Even more popular firms like Honda share this opinion, so it may not come as a surprise coming from a manufacturer of supercars. According to them, our ultimate objective should be efficiency, which all-electric vehicles do not yet provide, making it an illusory one. The addition of ICE to a hybrid setup would help this, as gasoline has an energy density that is over 10 times greater than that of our existing batteries. Supercar hybrid, the best of both worlds. So what does this mean in the context of a performance car, and how does it affect our soulful supercar? In actuality, hybrid supercars have been available since 2013 when McLaren P1, Porsche 918, and Ferrari LaFerrari, among other manufacturers, released some excellent models. Let's begin with what would seem like a simple gauge: Ferrari. As one might anticipate, Maranello of the Crucible is unwavering in its support of ICE. According to CEO Louis Camilleri, Ferrari will never be 100% electric and at most won't even achieve 50% in his lifetime. He also believes that being 100% electric is pushing things. Thus, while this is encouraging news for the ICE brigade, it should not be interpreted as a return to the past. With the LaFerrari, the venerable company proved that they stayed loyal to their DNA and ethos while also looking forward. Modern F1 technology was combined with conventional principles in the SF90 Stradale. The current hybrid vehicle is no exception. Car batteries, a serious problem. Handling with the SF90 is razor sharp and performance is mind-blowing. You don't feel the complexity, exclaims Stefano Varisco, head of dynamics, demonstrating that the goal of soul has not been abandoned in the name of technological superiority. That being said, there is an indisputable divide between man and machine, even though the car is a true accomplishment in its fusion of technological eras. Weight is one aspect of this hybrid issue, though this will undoubtedly get better with time. For instance, the SF90 battery weighs 72 kilograms when motors and related parts are added, making the dry weight of the battery alone 1680, a full 250 kilograms, more than F8 Tributo. Adding power makes you faster on the straights, subtracting weight makes you faster everywhere, as Lotus founder Colin Chapman once stated. Here's where the raw automobile connection might be lost in this dynamic ability. The electric vehicle, EV, supercar. So what would Mr. Chapman think of the Evija, a 1700 showpiece that his company recently unveiled? The emergence of the fully electric supercar or hypercar is heralded by this vehicle. This car is revolutionary and puts Lotus firmly in the spotlight. It is a statement of real intent. It performs like something out of a fiction book or the military. A total of 2,000 horsepower can be produced by an electric motor at each wheel. Of course, electric power also allows for precise course distribution and even helps with direction changes. Another manufacturer that is related to and proud of its history is Lotus, which is renowned for producing some of the best driver vehicles which guarantee unmatched handling. But will it have a soul to question? Although it is amazing in theory, we won't know more until later in the year. Although it doesn't sound like a supercar, it looks just like one. This is where the most evident sensory link can be found: noise. The sense of a machine is fundamentally influenced by noise, which can be intentionally produced or formed by accident. Regardless, noise is an essential component of the experience. The sound of a big block V8 idling may make some people drool, but the harsh staccato of a Lamborghini SVJ Aventador V12 bouncing off the rev limiter will make others crave for it. Is there a way to engineer this into a complete EV? It is unthinkable for a prancing horse, according to Ferrari's chief technology officer Michael Hugo Leiters, and knowing that it is piped would weaken one's relationship. As for me, I'm already a big admirer of the Lotus Evija and very interested in finding out more. Thrilling and a few. Emotional? Watch this. May I purchase one? Next day. A final reflection on supercars' future. In the end, things change, and even though supercars are a minor part of the environmental issues we confront, laws and downward pressure to decrease emissions will still have an impact on them. While ICE will continue to exist for some time, it will eventually merge with hybrid technology. Fortunately, it's a creative industry that hires the sharpest minds and most ardent devotees. This indicates that these devices have a bright future as a whole, and that we will always be able to enjoy their excitement and beauty. Now here's the deal. It's possible that the soul can exist in a little different way. Or perhaps it isn't a supercar's be-all and end-all. Instead, it's about what we teach a car and what the automobile in turn provides back to us. Supercars will always exist in whatever form they take, as long as they excite you to the point where they make an inexplicable connection with your heart. So this is the end of our today's video. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.